So first off, testosterone has been declining for the average male over the last century a large amount. I'm going to pull up an infographic on screen so you guys can see it. This is from NHANES database here, different studies using NHANES. And you could see it here. This is looking at testosterone in the 1960s. And it's talking about the average male was about 700. And then you can see the 80s. Now you're closer to 6. Here's the general trend line. And now you're about 400. Now you're about 80% reduction, or I should say about a 40% reduction from 700 to 400 there. So a big, big drop, right? Almost half. And so this is testosteronedecline.com. This is using NHANES database. And so that's a concern. We have this big drop. And so then now the question is, well, why is this drop happening? What are some of the environmental factors that are driving this? Right? We have to look at toxins. We have to look at what foods have gone up, what foods have decreased. These all play a massive role. What dietary changes have happened? Right. So obviously we know a whole bunch more processed foods occurred over the last 50. And then what happens if you went like 1920, 1910? I can imagine it'd only be even more crazy. So pretty nuts. Let me pull up another screen. So we'll talk about that. From a functional medicine side, we do a lot of lab testing. So I'll run free and total testosterone. We'll run SHGB, sex hormone binding globulin. We'll look at blood sugar and fasting insulin because that plays a major role in testosterone and upregulating the aromatase enzyme that converts testosterone to estrogen. And so this is a big deal because we have more processed food. Anything more processed, more sugary, more processed fat, it's going to get that drive inflammation. It's going to get that aromatase enzyme upregulated and cause T to go to E, testosterone to estrogen. And women have similar issues because women can have PCOS. And PCOS with lots of insulin and processed foods, they can actually increase their androgens where men actually drop their androgens. So men tend to, with that aromatase enzyme, they will take their T and they will bring it to E, to estrogen. So that drops the testosterone. Women will take their E, estrogen, and bring it to testosterone. So it's still a major problem because it's probably one of the number one causes of infertility in women. And so most women want to be healthy and fertile and they want to be able to have a baby or at least have the option of having it. And so we want to make sure the hormones are dialed in. So I'm going to try to connect it to both male and female here because it's both an issue. I see it every day. So let me kind of dive in. Let me pull up my outline here for you guys so you guys can follow along with me.